this dip is like being plummeted to the pits of hell.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, like when you're plummeted to the pits of hell, you've been equipped with a pressure washer this time. And you go in and you start like power washing all of the fucking crud that's at the bottom. That's how it's felt for me. And it's been about this last month or so where it's not like constantly down in that pit, but I go in and out of it. And every time I get plummeted back into it. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. It's another like corner of hell to power wash here. you know,
Yeah, boo.
Oh, hello. We're talking about my tits.
most of the time.
Girl on girl on girl.
You would.
Like, stop picking up the fucking hot knife.
Fucking cares.
Right on track.
Ugh.
With a lot of money, I would do great fucking things.
But not in a good way.
Yikes.
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 Yikes. Where's the realness?
Yeah. Everything you want. An immaculate experience.
Back down.
You're getting like excited.
I do actually.
Leave the tequila.
A freaking goddess today. Like the way that you have your hair done.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like some like goddess, like I don't know, I don't think it's She-Ra, but like it was some like cartoon from my childhood that is like imprinted in my psyche, and I'm like, oh, she looks so great today. Right?
Oh my god. Love you.
Yeah, I love you.
If only you saw that I was just wearing my pajama pants under here.
Hey, listen, I'm in my standard uniform, which is yoga pants and a yoga top. And I put a little sweater on because it's a little chilly in here today.
Oh my god, I love you. Welcome, peeps.
Welcome, everybody.
We're doing a little quickie tip today.
Yeah. Is it just the tip? Is it a quickie? We don't know. We'll find out by the end of it. But it's one of those two today.
It's just a little quickosaurus rex.
A little quick tip.
Look, just a little dip in and out today, friends.
Just wet the whistle just a little.
That'll be a new segment. Just wet the whistle. Anywho.
Back to the regular scheduled program.
Back to regular scheduled programming. Kelsey's got a yoga class, and I'm coming over a cold, so we're gonna
plow through.
Plow. Maybe that's another segment. The plow through. The big slap you didn't know you needed.
Exactly.
No lube, off we go.
Oh, I love it. I think we should add that in. That's not what we're talking about today, though, friend.
No, we're not. No, we're actually talking about we're talking about some shit we're seeing in the collective right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of crazy shit happening. I've had a big week. I mean, I was sick myself last week. My daughter got sick, and there's a lot of like SOS calls from my clients, and a lot of like that energy. And this big theme, Kelsey and I were like, what should we talk about today? And I was like, well, we're seeing some like a big timeline collapses, a lot of, if you're like a heart-centered, conscious, creative entrepreneur, legacy builder, like we're seeing a lot of y'all out there right now getting bitch slapped, a lot of carnage, a lot of very deep old patterns resurfacing, like, what the fuck, I thought I was done with that type of shit. I mean, I even saw it a bit in Vegas with like my party girl coming out. Like she wanted to come out and play, and she was a little off the rails. And it was interesting because I came back and I was doing like a lot of reflecting, and I was like, because you know when like something doesn't feel like you, like it does but it doesn't. Like it's like there's a fine line between accepting the part and totally being like, yeah, that's just a part of me. I like to have fun. I like to go, whatever. But there's like that, almost like that dark, like kind of twisted energy that gets in there, shadowy. And I was like, there's a part, it's maybe like the validation seeker, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Right? That validation seeker, or that like mischievous, like, let's just find out.
Yeah, let's fuck around and find out.
But not in like
not in a good way.
Not in a good way. And so I could feel that funky energy. But I noticed when I came back, there was this like, I don't know, there was just this like reckoning that came in, and I got sick, and it just felt like it was sort of like a a wise, let's call it universal energy being like, all right, now we're going to take you out so you
You've
can
had your
think about,
fun.
let's, let's have you think about what you've been doing. And I do have that fun part of me, but it feels like, yeah, it was just, there was some old patterns that resurfaced. I noticed it when I went to Tulum too.
Mm,
It's like a little while ago. It's just like what my brain thinks is going to happen and what should happen. And just, it's like an energy that almost gets away from me. And I noticed that resurfaced. And I noticed even just with my clients that are like, holy shit, like old wounds with my parents just came up. Or I totally just got re-triggered from my childhood. Or this thing I haven't felt in ages came up. And I was saying to somebody when I was doing a session, I was like, this is like the pit. Like a lot of us are hitting the pit of our pain, which is like, it's the fucking messy underbelly,
mm-hmm.
emotional baggage and shit that we haven't wanted to feel. And it's like coming up and resurfacing right now because it feels like wherever we're going, myself included, the
Mm-hmm.
collective, conscious people, like wherever we're headed, it can't really come. Like it just is in incongruence.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like we're all being initiated into deeper versions of ourselves and more authentic versions of ourselves. And sometimes when
Mm-hmm.
that happens, it rumbles up and shakes up a lot of the really old stuff and like the crevices and corners of our like psyche and being for reconciliation, for love, for approval, for alchemization, so we can move forward and have our big breakthrough. Because it feels like there's a lot of people about to pop in
Mm-hmm.
breakthroughs, in timeline collapses, in like big shifts. And this tends to happen right before one of those.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like hitting the dip, that's what I usually call it.
Mm.
But like this dip is different. Like this dip is like being plummeted to the pits of hell.
Hmm.
And at the same time, like when you're plummeted to the pits of hell, you've been equipped with a pressure washer this time. And you go in and you start like power washing all of the fucking crud that's at the bottom. That's how it's felt for me. And it's been about this last month or so where it's not like constantly down in that pit, but I go in and out of it. And every time I get plummeted back into it. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. It's another like corner of hell to power wash here. You know, this stuff that's been literally stuck in my system for my entire life. And it honestly, if I'm being totally real, it's probably been passed through my genetic line for multiple lifetimes. And then I believe in reincarnation. So I imagine that there's also like this karmic thread of like past lives that I'm clearing out as well. So, like, at times it feels so overwhelming. And I'm like, I can't do this. And then, like, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, you need to power wash for 5 more minutes and then this cycle is complete. And then it brings me back up and I get like back up to earth and back up to air and like okay, like getting my bearings here again. And then as soon as that integrates, it's like back down. And
Yeah.
and it's just been like this constant thing where I'm like, okay, I just actually need to surrender.
Yeah.
That's the medicine here, is that my soul is taking me on this ride. And I know that each time I go down into that pit and I pressure wash whatever's there to be held, danced with, alchemized, integrated, whatever is happening, every time I come back up, I feel more available to myself. I feel more available to life. I feel more available and expansive to what we're creating. And it's just been in the last couple days where I've been really feeling this expansion energy in all areas of my life. And
Mm.
not like expansion from like, ooh, yay, giddy, excited. It's more like this deep landed inner knowing of like, ooh, yeah, that's the opening. That's where we're headed. And it's smooth and it's landed and it feels really mature. That's probably the
Yeah.
best word that I have for it. Whereas, like in past chapters of my life, when I access that possibility thread, it's very buzzy and very excitable and like a little puppy. You know, it's
Whee!
cute. It's cute. And also, it's a bit frenetic. And whatever this initiation has been over these last few weeks, I would even say like all 2025, if I'm being real. It's been like this deepening, like I can even feel it in my voice, like my voice is dropping. And I was listening to some videos of me from even 2020 and 2022, and I was like, ugh, what am I doing with my voice? Like I'm talking like up here and like na, 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 na. And now like all these initiations have literally landed me
Mm,
in my body, and I can hear the difference in my voice. And
mhm.
it's not about like, oh, let me be like light and like really, likable, and like if I'm sweet and like sparkly like this, everyone will like me. And now I'm just like, what's up, bitches? Like, let's fucking go. It's
Mhm.
dropped in.
Mhm.
And it was really cool to see the contrast of that.
Yeah.
Because even 5 years ago, I would have been like, well, I'm pretty far on my path here. Like I'm creating a curriculum of my own body of work. Like we're out of like a lot of these younger stages, but
Yeah.
there was still all of this alchemy that needed to happen over the last 5 years that has literally changed my physiology. It has changed my voice. It's changed my face. It's changed my eyes. Like my whole composition is changing.
Mm.
And I love these types of initiations for that reason. And I think that's probably why in the club we have this whole thing about reverse aging. And that's what's happening. Like I'm being taken apart and put back together, and like everything that was false we're letting go of, and all of that density, all of that excess weight is being metabolized. And then what I'm left with is more me. But you have to go through the pit. You have to be willing to go in there and sit with the discomfort and like rumble tumble it, like maybe even do like a couple rounds of like boxing it out or like mud wrestling. I don't know, but like it's not always like this smooth, like, okay, I'm just going to sit with my emotions. Like sometimes I feel like I'm being ripped apart,
Mhm.
especially with this last Scorpio moon. That did not fucking play.
Holy. I was in Vegas when that happened. It was fucking out of control.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
swear, this is where I want to have a t-shirt where it was like, it was the moon, it wasn't me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, this
Like,
makes sense because you were in Vegas and I was at home, and that was the weekend that I was communing with the crow on my balcony. Of course, that would happen during a Scorpio moon. Of course, it would. But like, it's been intense.
homie, don't play that. Like that
No.
fucking, oh, that moon. I'm usually not like wanting to be like, yeah, the moon. I was like, mother bitch slap. Like that.
Yeah.
You know what you just said earlier that really landed for me is when you said like something like a maturity or something, or like a,
Mm-hmm.
that's what felt like came out in Vegas. Because I've been to Vegas since my bachelor party
Mm-hmm.
in 2014.
Right.
And it wasn't a good experience. My
Mm.
bachelor, it was just like it was. I was, you know, my soon-to-be husband was like using, and like there's just all sorts of chaos that was
Mm-hmm.
ensuing right before then. It wasn't a great experience, and before that, Vegas was like where I went to seek validation.
Mm.
It
Mm-hmm.
was where I went to go, and it's interesting because now like I genuinely love DJs. I like shows. I like dinner. You know, of course, like
Yeah.
Vegas has lots that I could do. Like it's there's lots there, but it was like the environment and the energy kicked up a very unconscious part of me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I could feel myself just like almost offline. Like it was like I was like it wasn't me. It was like an entity was like driving me the whole weekend. It was so
Mm-hmm.
bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
And even my drinking wasn't like even you know I love a margarita more than anything. Even my drinking wasn't like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you
Mm-hmm.
drink and you're like, I'm genuinely enjoying this versus
Yeah.
like there's a purpose here. Like
Yeah.
I'm
It's
I'm
destructive.
yes, there's like a distraction. I was like, whoa, the fuck? Like all of it felt, and there's a million different like perfect storms that came in, but it just was like it was just a really interesting experience. And when you said that, it hit me. I was like, oh, it's like that part of me needed to go to like I almost needed to see it through the vehicle of going to Vegas
Sure.
to know it was still there and to like that's the part I have needed to I need to tend to because that will
Mm.
obviously affect pieces of my business unconsciously or pieces of my life unconsciously. And so tidying that up and cleaning that up. And it's like one of those things, again, it's like a great way to be like, wow, thank you for showing me that.
Mm-hmm.
So I can tidy that up. And it's only through contrast and the things that we don't usually like that we get to see this, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's through, if we're having these, I've had a lot of people have interactions with parents, one with a mom, one with a dad, and like it's really sparked up like really old, deep shame or really deep old rage or anger or like these really like almost like disgust, like almost these like really pit energies, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
that are so hard to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my client just said to me, like right before this call, she goes, she had crazy energetic release. Like she was like, look, like she was like, and I was like, I'm like, she's like, it feels like, in Hawaii when the undertow takes you over, takes you under, and you're exhausted because you've just been trying to fight. And I'm like, I know. I'm like, I was like the undertow in the session. I'm like, because her system kept trying to bump me out and like take me
Mm-hmm.
on a fucking joyride. I was like, unfortunately, I'm a little too skilled to like to
Mm-hmm.
let it go off there. But I'm like, you're gonna feel shit beat. But again, I said, I'm like, you just processed emotional stuff that's been sitting in your body for decades. So
Yeah.
no, what we're gonna feel like as we start to do this processing of these big, deep emotions. It's really important to take excellent care of yourself because it's
Mm-hmm.
like when you're meeting those really, really deep, like crusted on energies,
Mm-hmm.
it's discombobulating to your body after you've processed them.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
this is
yeah.
why I think even having places and spaces, like if you don't have places and spaces, you can do that work, come into the club because this is like where we can hold that type of shit. Because
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey and I do this work all the time, right? This is where we hold this. So we'll help your expansion, but we can also, guess what happens when you go to expand or you make big declarations or manifestations to the universe. I just did my Panther week, our private podcast on power and manifestation. I was just talking about this. I was like, when we go to manifest, it's going to kick up everything that is incongruence to that. So
Yeah.
if you have a big bold dream or if you have something you want to build or you're working towards or you're declaring to the universe like, universe, just so you know, I'm fucking expanding and I'm going to do this thing. It's like amazing. Here's everything that isn't that. And then
Mm-hmm.
people are like, yeah. And so a lot of people kick themselves out when they start meeting the pit or they start having
Mm-hmm.
contrast come in when they think it's supposed to be really easy flow. And I'm like, no, you're actually on the right path, but we
Yeah.
gotta like
Stay the
hunker
course.
down. Yeah, stay the course. Stay the course. Don't abort mission.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so,
Yeah, I
but thank
feel
you for
you.
mentioning that because there was a very adolescent part, it feels like, who just needed some upgrading.
Oh
And I
yeah.
needed to see it through the vehicle of Vegas, of where she used to
100%.
go. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've been getting the upgrades around like my control patterns and like I've done so much work on them that what's kind of been coming out in the open over these last, few weeks is like how covert the contracts are that I make. And because I'm so aware, like they are so sneaky.
Hmm.
And so like that's kind of the edge that I've been dancing with is like getting stone cold sober around these covert contracts that I run and like the underpinning of like control and manipulation. And I'm like, fucking hell. It's just so much easier to project this onto other people, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. It's my favorite.
And deal
You're the problem.
you're the problem. And so like I could hear that in like my mental dialogue of like you're the problem, and I'm looking at like a lot of people in my life and being like you're a manipulator and you're deceptive and like self-deception, and I'm like, oh, okay, I know where I'm going next. That self-deception is real fucking strong, and it just manifests different. And so it's been showing up in my relational containers so that I have an opportunity to really alchemize this and
Mm.
step into again that more mature space of like I don't need to micromanage everything. I can
Mm.
just surrender. And yet it's a great idea in theory, but it's much harder to do in reality.
Yeah.
The reality of allowing something to unfold the way it's supposed to versus unfold on my agenda. Like that's really the thing that I've been bumping up against in pretty much every area of my life.
Mm.
And I'm like, fuck, this is an old, old, old part. And it has worked for me. And that's why it's like morphing and shifting and like it's trying to stay alive.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, getting plummeted to these pits, I'm like, oh gosh, this is so fucking ugly. And I hate having to like acknowledge this about myself. And if I don't, if like just put on this mask and I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm superior, I have it all together, like I'd never do that anymore. Look how good I am. I'm just going to get bitch slapped over and over and over. And the things that I actually want to create for myself in my life will always be slightly out of reach.
Yeah.
And so I understood as this initiation was being revealed at the start of the year, and then it's just taking me layer by layer by layer by layer, right down to the bottom. And I'm like, fuck, this is a doozy. And also, like, I'm so grateful for it because I do want to be squeaky clean in my relationships. I
Yeah.
do want to bring my uncommunicated expectations out in the open and play this creative, co-creative game in
Mm-hmm.
every single relational dynamic that I have. And I can't do that if I'm running all of these covert contracts, which I do have a Panther episode for the wildcard week. So if
Mm.
you aren't in Panther, you should definitely get in there because, I mean, today I did a session on needs and how when we go in to like communicate our needs from this place of aggression or being passive aggressive or being sarcastic, why it will always backfire and like you'll
Mm.
never actually get what it is that you want and need. And so
Mm.
like there's some really power packed wild cards in there this week for y'all. And I know Christine, you're gonna have some in there too. So get into Panther if you're not already in there.
Mm.
And we're also going to be doing some big excavation on this on Saturday in our Get Paid Mastermind. And so if you've got stuff around money, if you've got stuff around, you know, you have art or you have a business or you have a message or mastery and you're not getting well paid for it, well there's some congestion in the way. And so we're going to be working with that. We're going to be taking the fucking pressure washer and getting squeaky clean and then also doing some teaching and some breakout sessions and getting you really clear so that you can powerfully go out into your business or into your job or into your life and create powerfully, but also create in a way that allows for the reception of compensation. Because so many, like at least spiritual entrepreneurs, like they have this weird relationship where they're over giving, over giving, over giving, and they don't think it's spiritual to receive. And then they burn out or they abandon their mission altogether because they aren't being compensated, they aren't being replenished. And it's this very cyclical energy. Like you give, you receive, you give, you receive. And if you've blocked the reception, which is a big part of what we're going to work on Saturday, then no matter what you do, like you're always going to be just getting by, or you're not going to feel super inspired about your art or your work in the world because it's fucking hard to make ends meet. And it doesn't have to be that way, but that's the coding that a lot of people get. So we're going to be working with that in a really big way on Saturday. So if you haven't signed up, head to the show notes, sign yourself up, and we would love to see you there.
Mm. You just nailed that.
Thank you.
No, but I'm so excited for Saturday. I really am. Because there's so many brilliant people with so much magic in them and so many
Mm-hmm.
great offers and so much like retreats, courses, one to one. Like there's so much medicine just
Mm-hmm.
sitting in the world, being
Yeah.
untapped potential.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it's people have such a hard time receiving. So they think it's a money problem or, whatever strategy problem, and it's a receiving problem, or there's stuff in the way, there's congestion. So we're really going to do a lot of clearing about that, redefining what sales is, and that mindset shift alone, plus the body shift and the somatics that we're going to do, and the nervous system recalibration and the subconscious work. Like it's we're not just, this isn't a cute like 7 steps to making more money. This is like a complete
Overhaul.
physiological like a biological overhaul, where we're actually going to go in and help you shed and clear and cleanse your system of that resistance, that really deep unconscious resistance that you may have towards, like, if you're not making the money that you want in your business, or you're afraid of being visible. And we're going to hit on all these pieces on Saturday, so that you can go out and shine and state your prices with confidence, and to feel ease in your body and not be sweating when you're telling somebody, sending an invoice or whatever it is, right? Like, we want you to feel confident and clear, so you can be paid for your magic. And everyone wins, because people get your transformation, sacred service, everyone wins. It's a win, 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 win. That's what we want for all. So really excited. Definitely sign up for that. And thanks for listening to our little riff on our little shadowy pieces and the stuff that we've had going down. And we're super excited. Thank you for listening to the podcast. We appreciate all of your reviews and your ratings and your feedback. And there's specific shit you want us to riff on, you can also email us at clubunhinged@gmail.com and send in some requests of some riffs you want us to go on. And
let us know what you want to hear from us.
Get your butt into one of our shed sessions, or the Get Paid Mastermind, or the Panther podcast. They're all great options. The club doors are currently closed right now. You can apply and get on the waiting list, but highly recommend 12 out of 10 getting on one of our other offers. Get in the vibe, get in the energy. It's just going to build. And when the club doors open, you're going to get your butt right on in there.
Yeah, giddy up. All right, friends. Well, we're going to wrap it there. We love you. And we'll be back next week with something new, something spicy, something unhinged. And hopefully we'll see you on Saturday at the Get Paid Mastermind. We love you.
Bye.
Bye, friends. All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating. And we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you. Bye.